She lived in a small town where life moved slowly, and people rarely noticed the quiet ones. From the outside, she looked like any ordinary young woman. She walked to school in the mornings, carried her books in a worn backpack, and smiled politely at everyone she passed. She had a simple life with little excitement, and no one would have guessed that she was waiting for a moment that would change everything. At home, her life was quiet too. She shared a small apartment with her mother, who worked long hours at a local bakery. Money was always tight, and they had to be careful with every coin. Yet despite the challenges, their home was full of warmth. Her mother always encouraged her to be kind, patient, and strong. She learned early that life would not give her everything she wanted, but hard work and perseverance could take her far. From a young age, she discovered a passion that gave her a sense of freedom she could not find anywhere else. When the world seemed heavy and unfair, she would escape into her own little sanctuary, a place where her talent could shine without judgment. She spent hours there, practicing and perfecting her skill, letting herself get lost in the rhythm and flow. It was her secret world, a place where she felt alive, confident, and powerful. She never spoke much about it to anyone. People around her saw her as quiet and reserved. Some even thought she was shy or awkward. At school, she often sat in the back of the classroom, listening more than she spoke. Her classmates noticed her only when they needed someone to help with small tasks or when the teacher asked a question. She never drew attention to herself, and that was exactly how she liked it. Despite her quiet demeanor, she had a sharp mind. She noticed details that others missed. She could remember things effortlessly and had a sense of timing and rhythm that others lacked. But she kept all of this to herself. She had learned early on that showing her abilities often brought attention she did not want. People could be cruel or dismissive when they did not understand someone. She had seen it too many times and preferred to let her talent grow quietly, away from judgment. Her mornings were simple. She woke up early, helped her mother with breakfast, and got ready for school. On her way, she would pass by the bakery where her mother worked and wave silently. Sometimes she would stop and talk to neighbors, exchanging polite greetings, but she never lingered. She liked to keep her own space and did not need constant attention. She had learned to enjoy small things: the sound of birds in the morning, the warmth of sunlight on her face, and the smell of fresh bread from the bakery. School was not always easy. Some students teased her, calling her names or laughing at her quiet nature. Teachers often overlooked her, giving attention to more outgoing students. She had grown used to it, though. She did not let their words affect her. Instead, she focused on what she loved and found comfort in her secret passion. Every day, she carried a notebook in which she wrote, sketched, or jotted down ideas related to her skill. It was her private world, and she guarded it closely. Her friends were few but true. They respected her space and never pressured her to change. They knew she was different, but they also knew she was kind, loyal, and dependable. They often admired her from a distance, sensing that she had something special, even if they could not yet see it fully. She appreciated their quiet support and cherished their friendship deeply. Her evenings were a mix of routine and passion. After finishing homework and helping her mother with chores, she would retreat to her sanctuary. The small room she had claimed as her own was modest but comforting. It had a simple chair, a table, and the tools she needed to practice her talent. Here, no one judged her. Here, she was free. The hours she spent in this room passed unnoticed by the world outside, but they shaped her into someone strong, skilled, and ready for what was to come. Though she kept her talent hidden, she sometimes dreamed about sharing it with the world. She imagined the faces of people who would watch her, the sounds of applause, and the feeling of being truly seen. These dreams were distant and fragile, but they motivated her to continue practicing every day. She knew that one day she might have the chance to show what she could do, and she wanted to be ready when that moment arrived. Life in the town continued its slow rhythm. The streets were familiar, the faces known, and the routines predictable. Yet she knew that life had surprises in store. She felt a quiet anticipation, a sense that something important was coming. She could not explain it, but she sensed it in the way mornings felt lighter, in the way small moments seemed charged with possibility. She held on to that feeling even when everything around her seemed ordinary. Her mother noticed her quiet intensity. She saw the way her daughter's eyes lit up when she practiced, the way she focused when no one was watching. She encouraged her gently, never pushing too hard but always offering support. She reminded her that talent was a gift, but courage and patience were just as important. Her mother's words stayed with her, giving her confidence to continue even when no one else believed in her. One day, a notice appeared at school about a local competition. It promised recognition, a chance to showcase skills, and an audience that might include important people from outside the town. Many students laughed and dismissed it as something they would never attempt. She read the notice quietly, her heart beating faster. This was the opportunity she had been waiting for, even if she did not know it yet. She felt a mix of excitement and fear, knowing that stepping forward would change everything. The next few days were a whirlwind of emotions. She continued her routine, helping her mother, going to school, and practicing in her secret space. But now there was a purpose behind her practice. She imagined the stage, the audience, and the moment she would have to step into the light. She felt both nervous and exhilarated. For the first time, she realized that her quiet life might be preparing her for something extraordinary. At school, people continued to overlook her. Some students still teased her, and some teachers still paid little attention, but she no longer minded. She had a goal now, and it gave her a sense of direction. She began to see her quietness not as a weakness but as a strength. While others wasted time seeking attention, she had been honing her skill, preparing herself for the moment that would come. In the evenings, she practiced longer than ever before. She experimented, made mistakes, and learned from them. She discovered new techniques and refined her existing skills. The small room where she practiced became a place of transformation. Every mistake was a lesson, every small success a step closer to the moment she had imagined. She could feel herself changing, becoming stronger, more confident, and ready to face the world. Her mother noticed the change too. She saw the determination in her daughter's eyes, the quiet fire that had always been there but was now burning brighter. She did not push her to perform or seek recognition, but she gave her encouragement when needed, reminding her to believe in herself. Her mother's quiet support was a constant source of strength. The days passed and the competition drew nearer. She felt a growing excitement mixed with nerves. She knew that when the day came, everything would depend on her courage, preparation, and talent. She thought about the people who had overlooked her, the classmates who had laughed, and the teachers who had ignored her. She felt no anger or bitterness, only a quiet resolve to show herself and the world what she could do. She spent one last evening before the event in her sanctuary. She practiced with focus and intensity, imagining the stage, the audience, and the moment when she would step forward. She felt a mix of fear and anticipation, but also a deep sense of readiness. She knew that she had prepared as much as she could, and now it was time to trust herself. As she went to bed that night, she felt a sense of calm she had never experienced before. The world outside her window was quiet, but inside she was ready. She had spent years preparing for this moment without even knowing it. Her talent, patience, and quiet determination had brought her here, and soon everyone would see what she was capable of. She closed her eyes with a smile, knowing that the ordinary life she had lived was about to lead to an extraordinary moment. The day the announcement came, the school buzzed with excitement. Posters and flyers about the upcoming competition appeared on every notice board. Students gathered in groups, whispering, laughing, and discussing who might win. For most, it was just another event to pass the time, but for her, it was something different. She read the details carefully, making sure she understood every rule, every requirement. Her heart raced with a mix of excitement and fear. No one really noticed her as she walked through the crowded halls, clutching the flyer tightly. She overheard snatches of conversation from classmates who spoke dismissively about the competition. She wouldn't stand a chance, one said. No one even knows she has any talent, another added. They laughed and moved on, never imagining that the girl they ignored was already imagining herself on that stage, performing with confidence. Her mother was surprised when she mentioned the competition at dinner. "You want to enter?" she asked gently. Noticing the seriousness in her daughter's voice, she did not question her abilities, but she wanted to make sure her daughter understood what she was stepping into. The girl nodded, explaining that she had been preparing quietly for years, practicing when no one was watching. Her mother smiled, a mixture of pride and concern on her face. She gave her daughter a quiet pep talk about courage, hard work, and believing in herself. The next days were filled with preparation. She made a careful plan, thinking about every detail. She could not afford mistakes, and she wanted to make sure she was ready for anything. Every spare moment was spent practicing. At school, she would sneak into empty classrooms or the library, using the quiet to focus on her skills. She worked on perfecting every small detail, every movement, every note or gesture depending on her talent. She knew that practice alone would not be enough. She had to be confident and calm when the day arrived, but preparation was not easy. She faced new challenges she had not anticipated. Some teachers who usually ignored her suddenly started questioning her abilities, their doubts thinly disguised as advice. "Are you sure you can do this?" one asked. "It will be difficult and many people are competing." She nodded politely, hiding the frustration that bubbled inside. She knew that no one believed in her yet, and that only made her more determined. At school, her classmates continued to dismiss her. They joked, whispered, and speculated about who would win. They did not include her in their conversations, assuming she had no chance. She overheard one group saying, "It would be funny if she entered and failed badly." She felt a flicker of anger, but she quickly turned it into focus. Their laughter and doubt became fuel for her determination. She promised herself that she would not let anyone's opinion shake her. Even when she returned home, her challenges continued. Balancing practice with chores and homework was difficult. Her mother worked late, and sometimes she had to take care of small tasks alone. Some evenings she felt exhausted and wondered if she could really do it, but she remembered the quiet moments of joy she felt in her sanctuary, the place where she felt alive and free. She told herself that every effort now was a step toward the moment she had dreamed about for so long. She also faced inner challenges. Doubts crept in like shadows, whispering questions she did not want to hear. What if you fail? What if people laugh? Are you really ready? She would take deep breaths, close her eyes, and remind herself of all the hours she had spent practicing in silence. She remembered the quiet strength she had built over years and knew that she had prepared for this moment, even if no one else could see it. Slowly, she began to notice small changes in herself. She moved with more confidence, her hands steadier, her mind sharper. She realized that the preparation was not just about practicing skills, but about building courage, patience, and focus. She was learning how to stay calm under pressure, how to believe in herself even when no one else did. These lessons were harder than anything she had learned in school, but they were essential for what was to come. One afternoon, while practicing in a quiet corner of the library, a teacher walked by and stopped to watch her. The teacher was impressed but cautious, not wanting to draw attention to her. "You have a natural talent," the teacher whispered. She nodded, grateful for the recognition, but continued practicing quietly. She had learned not to seek approval from others, knowing that the real test would come when she was on the stage, performing under pressure. At home, she created a small routine to keep herself focused. She practiced at the same time each day, reviewed the competition rules, and visualized herself performing perfectly. She imagined the audience, the stage, and the moment when she would step forward. Visualization became a powerful tool for her, helping her turn anxiety into determination. Each day, she felt more prepared, more confident, and more ready for the challenge. As the competition day approached, the excitement and tension grew. The school seemed different, filled with whispers of anticipation and curiosity. Posters reminded everyone of the event, and students speculated about who might win. She walked through the halls with quiet purpose, focused on her preparation and ignoring the chatter around her. She knew that the only thing that mattered was her readiness and her courage. Her friends noticed the change in her. They saw the quiet determination in her eyes, the way she moved with focus and confidence. They offered quiet encouragement, understanding the importance of her effort. They did not pressure her or make demands, knowing that she needed her space. Their support was comforting, a gentle reminder that she was not completely alone, even though most people still overlooked her. The night before the competition, she stayed up later than usual, reviewing everything one last time. She practiced in her small sanctuary, imagining the stage and the audience. She felt nervous, but also a deep sense of readiness. She knew that this was the moment she had been preparing for, the opportunity to show the world her skill. The nervousness was natural, but it did not shake her determination. She thought about the people who doubted her, the classmates who laughed, and the teachers who overlooked her. She felt no anger or resentment, only a quiet resolve to prove to herself that she was ready. She had spent years preparing without recognition or applause, and now it was time to step into the light. She told herself that she would give her best, no matter what anyone else thought. That night she could barely sleep, not because she was afraid, but because her mind was alive with possibilities. She imagined the stage, the crowd, and the sound of applause. She visualized herself moving with confidence, performing with skill and grace. Her dreams were vivid, almost like a rehearsal in her mind, preparing her for the reality that awaited. Morning came, and she woke with a mixture of excitement and calm focus. She followed her routine carefully, making sure everything was in place. She helped her mother with breakfast, packed her bag, and double-checked the items she needed. Every action was deliberate, every moment focused on the upcoming event. She knew that preparation was not just about skill, but about mindset, and she was determined to approach the day with calm strength. As she walked toward the school for the competition, she felt the weight of anticipation and possibility. She knew that people would be watching, judging, and waiting to see who would win, but she also knew that she had prepared in ways that others had not. Years of quiet practice, patience, and perseverance had brought her to this moment. She felt a quiet pride in herself, a sense that she was ready for whatever lay ahead. She entered the school building and saw the stage for the first time. It was larger than she had imagined, with bright lights and rows of chairs for the audience. The reality of the situation made her heart race, but she took deep breaths and focused on what she had practiced. She reminded herself that the preparation she had done in silence was more powerful than any fear or doubt. As students, teachers, and visitors gathered, she found a quiet corner to center herself. She closed her eyes, breathed deeply, and visualized the performance again. She imagined the rhythm, the movement, and the focus needed to succeed. She felt a sense of calm determination, knowing that this was her moment to step forward and show the world what she could do. The competition was about to begin, and she was ready. She had faced doubt, teasing, and skepticism, but she had turned them into strength. She had prepared for years in secret, building skill, patience, and courage. Now she was about to step into the spotlight, and for the first time, everyone would see what she had been quietly perfecting. She took one last deep breath, opened her eyes, and walked toward the stage, ready to embrace the challenge that awaited her. The days leading up to the competition were filled with both excitement and struggle. She woke up each morning with a mix of nervous energy and determination. Every day seemed to hold a new challenge, and she faced them all quietly without complaint. Her preparation became more intense, more focused, and more demanding. Each hour she spent practicing was a step closer to the moment she had imagined for years. Her routine was relentless. She balanced schoolwork, chores at home, and her secret training. Some days her body ached and her mind felt tired. She had moments when she doubted herself, wondering if she was truly ready. But she reminded herself of the years she had spent practicing in silence, honing her skill when no one was watching. She had endured quiet struggles, setbacks, and disappointments, and each of them had made her stronger. She faced small failures during her practice sessions. Sometimes her technique faltered, or she struggled to perfect a particular movement or note. At first, these mistakes frustrated her, and she felt the urge to give up. But she remembered the quiet hours she had dedicated to her craft and realized that failure was simply a part of growth. She learned to embrace each mistake, to study it, and to improve. Slowly, these failures turned into lessons that shaped her skill and her character. Her friends noticed the change in her. They saw the focus and determination in her eyes, the way she moved with purpose, and the quiet strength she carried. They offered words of encouragement, small gestures that reminded her she was not alone. Sometimes they would stop by her practice space, giving her a quiet smile or a reassuring nod. She valued their support, but she remained focused, knowing that the final test was hers alone. Her mother, too, watched her with pride and concern. She saw the long hours her daughter dedicated to preparation, the moments of quiet struggle, and the resilience that kept her going. At night, she would offer advice and gentle encouragement, reminding her to stay calm and believe in herself. The mother knew that talent alone would not be enough. Courage and patience were just as important. Her quiet guidance was a steady source of strength for her daughter. As the competition day approached, the pressure intensified. She felt the weight of expectations, even though no one outside her small circle truly believed in her. The whispers, doubts, and teasing from classmates echoed in her mind at times, but she refused to let them distract her. Instead, she used them as motivation. a reminder that she had worked harder than anyone else to reach this point. She also faced moments of loneliness. Her quiet focus often meant she could not participate in casual conversations or social events. Sometimes she felt isolated, wishing she could share her excitement and anxiety with someone who truly understood. Yet she reminded herself that this solitude had been part of her journey. It had allowed her to grow, to refine her skill, and to build the inner strength necessary for the moment she was about to face. Her preparation was not just physical, but mental as well. She practiced visualization, imagining herself on the stage, performing flawlessly and capturing the attention of the audience. She rehearsed every movement, every gesture, and every note in her mind, creating a mental map of the perfect performance. This practice strengthened her confidence and helped calm her nerves, allowing her to focus on what truly mattered. Despite her careful preparation, she encountered unexpected challenges. Equipment failed during practice, timing was off, or small errors occurred that she had not anticipated. Each problem required quick thinking and adaptability. She learned to adjust, to improvise, and to remain calm under pressure. These experiences taught her that true preparation was not only about perfect practice, but also about resilience and flexibility. One evening, as she practiced alone in her sanctuary, she felt an overwhelming sense of doubt. The fear of failure crept in, whispering that she was not ready, that she would stumble, that her efforts would be in vain. She paused, took a deep breath, and closed her eyes. She remembered all the years she had spent quietly building her skill, all the sacrifices, all the moments of perseverance. She reminded herself that she had prepared for this moment more than anyone else could imagine. Slowly, the fear subsided, replaced by determination and focus. Her friends and mother continued to provide quiet support. They did not try to shield her from challenges or offer easy answers. Instead, they reminded her of her strength and her dedication. Their presence, though subtle, was a comforting anchor in the whirlwind of preparation and anxiety. She realized that while she had trained alone, she was not entirely alone in spirit. During the final days before the competition, she intensified her practice. She spent hours perfecting every detail, ensuring that her performance would be flawless. She focused not only on skill but also on expression, learning to convey emotion, confidence, and presence through her work. She understood that the audience would respond not just to technical skill, but to the passion and authenticity she brought to her performance. Sleep became both precious and elusive. Some nights she lay awake, rehearsing mentally, imagining the reactions of the audience and anticipating challenges. She felt both excitement and anxiety, knowing that the moment of truth was near. Yet she also felt a quiet thrill, a sense that all her years of preparation had led to this point. She was ready to face whatever awaited her. She also learned to manage her emotions carefully. Nervousness, excitement, and anticipation could be overwhelming, but she practiced techniques to stay centered. Breathing exercises, visualization, and quiet reflection helped her maintain composure. She realized that controlling her inner state was as important as mastering her skill. Without it, even the best preparation could falter. One afternoon, she received a small piece of advice from a mentor who had noticed her talent. "Remember, it is not about impressing others, but about expressing yourself and trusting your preparation," the mentor said. Those words resonated deeply with her. She realized that her focus should not be on the doubts or expectations of others, but on the journey she had undertaken and the skills she had honed. This perspective strengthened her resolve. Finally, the day before the competition, she felt a quiet sense of readiness. The fear and doubt that had haunted her in earlier days had transformed into calm focus. She knew that she had prepared as much as possible and that the moment ahead would be a test of everything she had learned. She spent the evening in reflection, reviewing her mental rehearsal and finding peace in the knowledge that she had given her all. She also thought about the lessons she had learned along the way. Patience, perseverance, resilience, and self-belief had become part of her character. She understood that talent alone was not enough. The journey of preparation, the struggles overcome, and the growth she had experienced were equally important. These realizations gave her a quiet confidence, a sense that she was ready for whatever the competition would demand. As night fell, she went to bed with a sense of calm anticipation. She knew that the next day would bring new challenges, new experiences, and a chance to step into the spotlight. She reflected on the journey that had brought her here, the quiet hours of practice, the doubts faced and overcome, and the support of her friends and mother. She felt gratitude, excitement, and readiness all at once. Her mind replayed the visualizations she had practiced so many times. She imagined the audience, the stage, and the perfect performance. She felt a deep sense of connection to her preparation. Knowing that she had done everything possible to be ready, she realized that the moment ahead was not just about talent, but about courage, focus, and the ability to stay true to herself. By the time morning arrived, she was ready. She followed her routine carefully, preparing her mind and body for the challenge ahead. She knew that the competition would test her in ways she had never experienced before, but she felt confident in her preparation. She carried with her the lessons of patience, perseverance, and resilience that had been forged through quiet struggle. As she walked toward the school for the competition, she felt the weight of anticipation and possibility. She understood that the moment she had been preparing for was finally within reach. The journey of trials and growth had strengthened her, shaping her into someone capable of facing any challenge. She stepped forward with quiet determination, ready to embrace the next chapter of her journey and the moment that awaited her on the stage. The morning of the competition arrived with a strange mixture of calm and excitement. She woke earlier than usual, her mind already awake with anticipation. The sky outside was clear and the sunlight streamed through her window, filling her small room with warmth. She followed her morning routine, taking deliberate, measured steps to prepare herself. Each action, from brushing her teeth to packing her bag, felt purposeful, almost ritualistic. She knew that the day ahead would demand every ounce of focus and courage she had cultivated. Her mother noticed the quiet determination in her eyes. She offered a small smile, understanding that words could not fully convey the depth of her daughter's preparation. She helped her with a few last-minute reminders and encouragements, but mostly she gave her the space to center herself. The young woman appreciated this. She knew that she needed to be in the right mindset, fully present and focused for the moment that was about to unfold. As she left home, the streets seemed alive with anticipation. Students were already gathered around the school, chatting excitedly about the competition. She walked among them with quiet confidence, listening to the murmurs and laughter but not letting them distract her. She had prepared too long and too carefully to be swayed by the opinions of others. Her focus remained on the performance she had envisioned in countless hours of practice and rehearsal. When she arrived at the school, the competition area was bustling with activity. Chairs were arranged in neat rows. A stage had been set up at the front and bright lights illuminated the space. Judges, teachers, and spectators filled the room with chatter and expectation. She felt a surge of nerves, a quickening of her heartbeat. But she breathed deeply, grounding herself in the confidence she had built over months of preparation. She reminded herself that she was ready and that this moment was the culmination of years of dedication. Other participants were practicing nearby, their voices and movements filling the air with energy. Some were loud and boastful, drawing attention to themselves. Others were anxious, whispering nervously to friends or teachers. She observed them quietly, noticing their confidence, their nerves, and their focus. She did not feel intimidated. Instead, she felt a sense of calm determination. She knew that her preparation was different. She had worked in silence, honing her skills with patience, resilience, and focus. Now it was time to let that preparation shine. As the competition began, she took her place backstage, waiting for her turn. She could hear the performances of others, the applause, and the reactions of the audience. Each act reminded her of the stakes and the importance of the moment. She felt a mixture of excitement and nerves, but she centered herself with slow, deliberate breaths. She visualized her performance, imagining each step, each movement, and the confidence she would display. She reminded herself that she was ready, that she had prepared, and that she was capable of rising to the occasion. When her name was called, she stepped forward with calm determination. The audience looked at her, some with curiosity, some with mild skepticism. A few of her classmates whispered among themselves, surprised that she had entered the competition. She ignored the murmurs and focused on the stage, on the space before her, and on the moment she had imagined countless times. She felt the quiet power of her preparation guiding her, steadying her and giving her confidence. As she began her performance, she felt the world around her fall away. The lights, the audience, and the other participants faded into the background. She was fully present, moving with precision, skill, and grace. Every note, every gesture, every movement was the result of years of practice, patience, and quiet determination. She could feel the connection between her preparation and the execution, a seamless flow that made her feel confident and alive. The audience's initial skepticism began to fade. People leaned forward, eyes wide with surprise as they witnessed the depth of her talent. She had always been quiet, unnoticed, and underestimated, but now her skill spoke for itself. The energy in the room shifted, moving from curiosity to admiration. Her classmates who had doubted her before were now captivated, unable to look away. Even the judges who had seen many participants were drawn in by the clarity, confidence, and authenticity of her performance. She felt a mixture of exhilaration and calm as she continued. Her nerves had transformed into focus, her preparation into execution, and her dreams into reality. She was performing not to impress others, but to express herself and honor the journey that had brought her here. Each movement, each note, each gesture was a testament to the quiet hours of practice, the struggles she had overcome, and the resilience she had cultivated over the years. As the performance reached its climax, the audience was fully engaged, completely captivated by her presence. The room was silent in awe, the energy electric with admiration and surprise. She could feel their attention, their respect, and their appreciation. But she remained focused on the moment, moving with the skill and confidence she had developed. This was the moment she had been preparing for, and she embraced it fully without hesitation or doubt. When the performance ended, there was a brief pause, followed by an eruption of applause. The sound was overwhelming, a mixture of surprise, admiration, and appreciation. She stood on the stage, catching her breath, feeling a mixture of relief, pride, and exhilaration. She had done it. She had stepped into the spotlight, faced her fears, and shown the world the talent and determination she had nurtured in silence. Her classmates, who had laughed and doubted her before, were now cheering, clapping, and smiling in genuine admiration. Some whispered apologies, while others simply stared, unable to believe what they had witnessed. The judges nodded approvingly, impressed by her skill, presence, and composure. She felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that her quiet preparation had culminated in a performance that captivated and inspired everyone in the room. Backstage, she was met with congratulations from friends and mentors. They praised her performance, noting not only her skill but also her confidence and authenticity. She felt a sense of gratitude for their support, but she also felt a quiet pride in herself. She had relied on her preparation, resilience, and focus, and it had paid off. She realized that the moment she had been waiting for was not just about recognition, but about proving to herself that she was capable of rising to the occasion. The rest of the day passed in a blur of excitement, interviews, and recognition. She received praise from teachers, classmates, and visitors who had attended the competition. Yet, despite the attention, she remained grounded. She understood that the journey was just as important as the moment itself. The quiet hours of practice, the struggles overcome, and the growth she had experienced were what truly mattered. This recognition was simply a reflection of the hard work, dedication, and perseverance that had brought her here. That evening, she returned home, exhausted but fulfilled. She reflected on the day, replaying the performance in her mind, and appreciating the journey that had led her to this point. She thought about the doubts, the teasing, and the challenges she had faced along the way. She realized that all of it had prepared her for this moment, shaping her into someone capable of stepping into the spotlight and embracing the challenge. She also thought about the lessons she had learned. Preparation, patience, resilience, and self-belief had been key to her success. She understood that talent alone was not enough. It had to be nurtured, refined, and combined with courage and determination. The experience of performing in front of an audience had taught her about focus, presence, and authenticity. She knew that these lessons would stay with her for the rest of her life. That night, as she lay in bed, she felt a sense of calm and fulfillment. The journey had been long, filled with quiet struggles, doubts, and challenges, but it had all led to this moment of triumph. She understood that she had been born for this moment, prepared by years of dedication and perseverance. She closed her eyes with a smile, knowing that she had embraced her talent, faced her fears, and shown the world what she was capable of. The stage, the audience, and the applause were just reflections of the hard work and quiet determination that had brought her here. She felt ready for whatever the future held, confident in her ability to face new challenges with the same courage, focus, and resilience. The day after the competition began quietly, but she felt a sense of fulfillment that lingered in her heart. The applause, the admiration, and the recognition from the previous day still resonated in her mind. As she walked through the streets of her town, people who had never noticed her before now glanced her way with respect and curiosity. She could sense the shift in how she was perceived, but she carried it lightly, knowing that her worth was not measured by others' attention, but by the journey she had undertaken and the effort she had put in. At school, the atmosphere had changed. Classmates who had doubted her were now offering compliments and asking questions about her performance. Some approached her shyly, expressing admiration, while others whispered among themselves, still amazed by what they had witnessed. She responded with quiet grace, acknowledging their words but remaining humble. She had worked in silence for so long that public recognition was still new and slightly overwhelming. Yet she knew that this moment was not about boasting, but about understanding the power of dedication, patience, and perseverance. Her teachers also noticed the change. They had seen countless students perform over the years, but there was something remarkable about her confidence and skill. Some offered praise for her technical ability, while others complimented her presence and composure. She accepted their words with quiet appreciation, understanding that while recognition was rewarding, it was the growth and preparation that mattered most. The experience had taught her that success was a combination of talent, preparation, and inner strength. Her friends were especially supportive. They celebrated her achievement without fanfare, offering genuine smiles and heartfelt congratulations. They knew the effort she had put in and understood the challenges she had overcome. Their encouragement reminded her of the quiet support that had always been present, even when others doubted her. She felt grateful for their presence, knowing that true friends appreciate effort and character above all else. The competition judges had left a lasting impression as well. They had praised her not only for her skill but also for the emotion and authenticity she brought to her performance. She remembered their words vividly, understanding that their recognition was a reflection of her preparation and courage. She realized that talent alone was not enough to leave a lasting impact. It was the combination of skill, dedication, and the ability to express oneself fully that made a performance unforgettable. Back at home, her mother noticed a new light in her eyes. She listened as her daughter recounted the experience, the nerves, the focus, and the thrill of performing. Her mother's quiet pride and gentle encouragement reminded her of the support that had been with her from the very beginning. They spoke about the lessons learned, the growth experienced, and the strength discovered in facing challenges. The conversation reinforced the understanding that success was not only about recognition but also about the journey and the person she had become along the way. She also reflected on the moments leading up to the competition. She remembered the doubts that had crept in, the setbacks she had faced, and the quiet determination that had carried her through. She thought about the long hours of practice, the patience required, and the resilience needed to overcome obstacles. Each of these experiences had contributed to her success, shaping her into someone capable of rising to challenges and embracing opportunities. The recognition she received opened doors she had never imagined. Invitations to perform at local events, opportunities to share her skill with a wider audience, and the admiration of her community all began to flow. She approached each opportunity with the same quiet focus and humility, understanding that each performance was a chance to grow, learn, and inspire others. She was aware that success was not a final destination, but a series of moments that required continued effort, dedication, and integrity. As she prepared for future performances, she carried the lessons of the competition with her. She understood the importance of preparation, the value of perseverance, and the strength found in quiet determination. She also recognized the power of self-belief, knowing that confidence in her abilities was essential for embracing challenges. These lessons became guiding principles, shaping her approach to every task, every challenge, and every opportunity that came her way. Her journey also deepened her empathy and understanding for others. She thought about students who were overlooked, talents that went unnoticed, and the quiet struggles that many faced. She realized that her own journey had been made possible not only by her dedication, but also by the encouragement of those who had supported her. This understanding inspired her to offer support, guidance, and encouragement to others, sharing the lessons she had learned about perseverance, focus, and self-belief. The experience left a lasting impact on her sense of identity. She had discovered a quiet strength within herself, a resilience that had carried her through challenges and doubts. She had learned that preparation, patience, and inner focus were more important than external validation. She understood that true growth came from facing obstacles, learning from mistakes, and continuing to move forward with determination and confidence. Over time, she became a source of inspiration for her peers and community. People admired not only her skill but also the humility, focus, and courage she displayed. Her journey demonstrated that talent alone was not enough. It required dedication, preparation, and the ability to remain true to oneself. She became a reminder that even those who are quiet, overlooked, or underestimated can rise to extraordinary moments when given the chance and prepared with care. In the weeks and months following the competition, she continued to refine her skills, seeking new challenges and opportunities to grow. She remained humble and focused, understanding that each step forward was part of a lifelong journey of learning and development. Her experiences reinforced the importance of resilience, self-discipline, and the quiet power of preparation. She also took time to reflect on her personal growth. The journey had taught her patience, empathy, and the value of hard work. She recognized that every struggle, every moment of doubt, and every effort had contributed to the person she had become. She embraced these lessons, knowing that they would guide her in all future endeavors, both personal and professional. Her relationship with her mother strengthened as well. They shared a deep understanding of the journey, the effort required, and the lessons learned. Their bond became a source of comfort, encouragement, and inspiration. She appreciated the quiet support that had always been present, knowing that it had played a significant role in her success. As she looked toward the future, she carried a sense of quiet confidence. She understood that life would continue to present challenges, opportunities, and moments of uncertainty, but she also knew that the lessons she had learned, the importance of preparation, perseverance, focus, and self-belief, would guide her through any situation. She felt ready to embrace new experiences, confident in her ability to face them with courage, skill, and determination. The recognition and applause she had received were meaningful, but she valued the journey more. She understood that the person she had become, the resilience, focus, and determination she had cultivated, was the true reward. She carried this understanding with her, knowing that it would continue to guide her in all aspects of life. In the end, she realized that the moment she had been born for was not just about a performance or recognition. It was about discovering her inner strength, embracing challenges, and demonstrating the power of quiet determination. She had faced doubt, obstacles, and fear, and had emerged stronger, more confident, and ready for whatever life had in store. The journey had shaped her, and the moment had revealed her true potential. She continued to inspire others, sharing her story and encouraging those who felt overlooked or underestimated. She reminded them that preparation, perseverance, and self-belief were the keys to success. Her journey showed that even those who live quietly, unnoticed, or in the shadows can rise to moments of extraordinary significance when they embrace their talents, work diligently, and remain true to themselves. Her story became a testament to the power of quiet dedication, resilience, and the pursuit of excellence. It was a reminder that moments of greatness are often born from years of preparation, struggles, and silent determination. She had learned that success is not only about talent, but about courage, focus, and the willingness to embrace challenges fully. As she looked back on the journey, she felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The struggles, preparation, and quiet determination had all led to this moment of triumph. She understood that life would continue to offer challenges and opportunities, but she felt equipped to face them with confidence, skill, and resilience. She carried the lessons of the competition, the growth she had experienced, and the strength she had discovered into the future, ready for whatever lay ahead. And so her story became one of inspiration, a reminder that even the quietest and most overlooked individuals have the power to rise to extraordinary moments. She had been born for this moment, prepared through years of effort, patience, and resilience. Her journey was a testament to the strength of the human spirit, the value of dedication, and the beauty of realizing one's true potential.